demon, here to steal a little kitten like me, forced to be part of your demonic harem luscious.
What the hell is even that?
Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. Well, would you look at that? We're back to talking about Helluva Boss once again. Why, you ask? Well, this month we are finally going to get another episode after months of in-between from the last. However, within that time, Spindle Horse has been keeping themselves busy with uploading a couple more shorts. And after the most recent short a few days ago, the Chupacabra, came out, it's left me scratching my head. Why, you ask? Well, when I first talked about the first official short that was released, centered around Millie's sibling, I stated how I felt Helluva Boss as a concept worked far better in the short format rather than the episodic one. And well, after the last couple of shorts, I want to talk about this further because my view has changed. I don't only think now that Helluva Boss works better as shorts, I feel the concept has been done a disservice being a series in the first place. And in fact, I feel that Helluva Boss has now become one of the biggest wastes of potential and one of the biggest fall from graces a series has ever had in a long time. Pause. I know what you're probably going to say. I see you typing in the comments right now. Just stop there. I know you're probably saying,
oh, if you don't like it, then don't watch it.
But please understand this from my point of view. I don't enjoy being so critical of Helluva Boss. The reason I am so critical of it is because I genuinely care about it. Not only is it a key landmark in indie animation, but I am a big fan of this series. Granted, I'm nowhere near as big of a fan as I used to be, but I still hold a lot of care over this series, because I see a lot of potential for this to be a great show. However, it just upsets me that something so ripe with possibilities only being used for the wrong things. So whenever I'm critical of this show, remember, it comes from a place of love and respect, because believe me, I feel for the team behind this show after making my own animated series, Puzzle Pieces, which a new episode is coming out this Halloween if you're interested. So if you're a fan of horror and indie animation, then be sure to tune in on Halloween night to see what I've been cooking up for you. But back to the topic at hand, why is Helluva Boss wasted potential? Well, to answer that question in of itself, it's both simple and complex. But first, let's start with the simple. These shorts are actually pretty great. Their shorter time frame means that the story in each needs to be understandable and quick moving, and here they do very well at that, with each short having a natural progression that doesn't overstay its welcome, and the humour in these shorts is actually really good. Even the short with the incel creep is surprisingly really funny, as since the times are a lot shorter here, it means they have to be pretty selective with the jokes they use and don't use, and it's all fired at you one after the other in a healthy and easy to consume way. It's quite brilliant. I especially love the visual gags in these shorts. These shorts really use the animation format so well, as they can have little details that are either on the nose or you blink and you miss it. And it makes rewatching all these episodes very rewarding, as you get something new every time you watch it. Sure, not all the jokes land, but surprisingly a lot more of these jokes hit rather than miss. And most obviously, the concept. The concept of demons killing people is so well done here. Since it's a short, you don't need much explanation or backstory. It's literally just, here's the target, kill the target. And so it feels much more organic and instantly engaging, seeing all the different types of hits they have to do, the different types of locations and the ways they have to do it. It's all pretty creative, and it's what I've wanted to see from this show for a long time now. However, despite all the good done here, and despite how well each short is made, it's always going to be an unfortunate reminder of what could have been. Now we get to the complex part, as this show, as I've said before, is a square trying to fit in a circle hole. You see, these shorts, as good as they are merely supposed to be placeholders until we get to the next big episode, and therein lies the problem. The concept does not work in a long episode format. I'm honestly surprised nobody else has mentioned this issue before, but the very DNA of Helluva Boss is just so much more suited for the short format rather than this one. The series initially started off promising, with the first few episodes being very similar to these shorts. Demons hired to kill people, but then it began to change. For the past season and a half, the show went from quirky demon assassinations to a series of overly dramatic lovey-dovey drama. The episodes become much more centered around the toxic relationships between Stolas and Blitz, or Blitz and Fizz, or Blitz and Veronica, or just anyone with Blitz. Stories went from straightforward and focused to cluttered and obnoxious. Villains went from creative foils to just the run-of-the-mill assassins. This show went from something genuinely creative and different to a high-budget fanfiction of itself, and in doing so has lost a lot of the magic that made it work so early on. Now, you're probably going to call me crazy, but hear me out. Helluva Boss has started its own fall-off. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still getting millions of views, so when I say they fell off, I'm not saying they're not succeeding, because they definitely are, but what I am saying is that they're no longer succeeding as well as they used to. Because looking at the numbers, older episodes in Season 1 were making above 40 to 70 million views an episode. But when you look at the more recent episodes from Season 2, and now they're not even making 30 million views, with the last one nearly over 2 years old. And their most recent episodes is not even hitting 15 million views. Now, again, I'm not calling this a failure. After all, this is still very impressive numbers, especially for an indie project. But the fact of the matter is, the more this series has strayed away from what it originally was, the amount of people tuning in to each episode has begun to drastically decrease. Now, who knows what lies ahead for the future of this series? After all, this is potentially a subject to change. But as it stands right now, this series has been losing a lot of hype in the millions, and it's mainly with episodes that have very little to do with what the original concept of this show was, alongside how many people on other platforms have been starting to turn on this show, so much that it became a literal meme on Twitter. Now, who knows, this might have been inevitable ever since this series began, but personally, I feel it's the wasted potential of this show not being what it used to be is what's killing off Helluva Boss, slowly and gradually. Too slow to notice at first, but it's definitely there if you're paying attention. And honestly, that's kind of sad. That a series got the lottery, hit the lottery big in terms of indie animation, with millions and millions of views guaranteed, and yet chose to squander it for the sake of becoming a fan fiction of itself. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my assessments, or do you have some theories and opinions of your own that you feel I might have missed? Type it in the comments, I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say here. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing not only helps me make more videos just like this for you guys, but it also allows me to reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you subscribe, you'll not only be helping me make more videos, but you'll be helping me make a long-term dream of mine possible. So, if you're interested, subscribe. And with that, it's been the Pink King here, and I will see you all next time.